Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today I'll be continuing on reading the stories. The Next of the Mill Pond. In the previous video, I have stopped at the point where the the lost man's wife. She was trying to find him, and she ended up meeting the old woman who is the culprit in all of this, and she was able to see her husband again, but with a soulless eyes, and it was pretty scary. I mean, I know this is a story for kids, but I found it pretty freaking scary as hell. Um, yeah, I'm curious to see how this one ends up. Let's not wait no more and continue with the part 3. Full of sorrow, the woman went back, but again the dream showed her the cottage of the old woman. Next morning, she again set out and complained of her woes to the wise woman. The old woman gave her a golden flute and said, "Tarry till the full moon comes again, and take this flute, play a beautiful air on it, and when you have finished, lay it on the sand. Then you will see what will happen." The wife did as the old woman told her. No sooner was the flute lying on the sand than there was a stirring in the depths, and the wave rushed up and bore the flute away with it. Immediately afterward, the water parted, and not only the head of the man, but half of his body also arose. He stretched out his arms longingly to water, but a second wave came up, covered him, and drew him down again. "Alas, what does it profit me," said the unhappy woman, "that I should see my beloved only to lose him again?" Despair filled her heart anew, but the dream led her a third time to the house of the old woman. She set out, and the wise woman gave her a golden spinning wheel, consoled her, and said, "All is not yet fulfilled. Tarry until the time of the full moon, then take the spinning wheel, seat yourself on the shore, and spin the spool full. When you have done that, place the spinning wheel near the water, and you will see what will happen." The woman obeyed all she said exactly. As soon as the full moon showed itself, she carried the golden spinning wheel to the shore, and spun industriously until the flax came to an end, and the spool was quite filled with the threads. No sooner was the wheel standing on the shore than there was a more violent movement than before in the depths of the pond, and a mighty wave rushed up, and bore the wheel away with it. Immediately the head of the whole body of the man rose into the air, and in a water spout. He quickly sprang to the shore, caught his wife by the hand, and fled. But they had scarcely gone a very little distance when the whole pond rose with a frightful roar and streamed out over the open country. The fugitives already saw death before their eyes, when the woman in her terror implored the help of the old woman, and in an instant they were transformed, she into a toad, he into a frog. The flood which had overtaken them could not destroy them, but it tore them apart and carried them far away. When the water had dispersed and they both touched dry land again, they regained their human form, but neither knew what the other was. They found themselves among strange people who did not know their native land. The mountains and deep valleys lay between them. In order to keep themselves alive, they were obliged to tend sheep. For many long years, they drove their flocks through field and forest and were full of sorrow and longing. When spring had once more broken forth on the earth, one day they both went out with their flocks, and as chance would have it, they drew near each other. They met in a valley, but did not recognize each other. Yet they rejoiced that they were no longer so lonely. Henceforth they every day drove their flocks to the same place. They did not speak much, but they felt comforted. One evening, when the full moon was shining in the sky, and the sheep were already at rest, the shepherd pulled the flute out of his pocket and played on it a beautiful but sorrowful air. When he had finished, he saw that the shepherdess was weeping bitterly. "Why are you weeping?" he asked. "Alas," answered she, "thus shone the full moon when I played this air on the flute for the last time, and the head of my beloved arose out of the water." He looked at her, and it seemed as if a veil fell from his eyes, and he recognized his dear wife. And when she looked at him, the full moon shone on his face, she knew him also. They embraced and kissed each other, and no one need ask if they were happy. Oh, end of the story. Whew! Wow. What a romantic and beautiful story, huh? Beautiful ending too. I must say that I was expecting something more intense because I don't know. I think this is a little bit too easy for both of them. It reminds me of the story Shrek. If you have ever seen the movie before, the Shrek is a monster beast. I'm not sure, but he's not looking like a normal human being, and he met a beautiful princess, and in order for them to be with each other, either he has to become a human or she has to become a what word they use for this? It's not a monster or a beast. It's something else. I completely forget. It's Goger, something like that. Oh, I mean, remind me what that is. But yeah, I think it's a little bit easy for them. Also, the story didn't explain what the father of this lost son is doing. Like, how is he now? Is he worried? Is he sad? Is he crying? What has he done? You know, like the story didn't show us what his father is doing right now. I'm really curious to know that too. Anyway, the story, this is the last part of the story, and I guess I'll see you guys in other bedtime story videos. Thanks y'all for watching, listening. Goodbye.